All right, so we are going to continue with market structure, right? We are going to continue with the market structure. Now we're going to talk about major structure and minor structure. So with major structure, right, it deals with ranges. Major structure and minor structure deals with ranges, right? And it's based on the trader's own discretion. But you have to pick a larger range for your major structure and a smaller range for your minor structure. So with this is a higher high, higher low, higher high, higher high, higher low, higher high, right? And then we also have this as well, lower low, lower high, lower low, right? And this is also lower low, lower high, lower low. But then this bigger than this, so this will be our major structure, this will be our minor structure, this will be our minor structure, this will be our major structure, right? So using this diagram here as an example, higher high, higher low, higher high, this will be our major structure. But you realize within that we also have lower lows, lower high, lower lows, lower high, lower lows, right? Higher high, higher low, higher high, higher low, higher high, higher low. So these higher highs and higher lows are minor structure with higher highs and higher lows because they fall within the range of this whole higher high, higher low, and higher high. So they fall within the range, right? You realize they all fall within the range, right, of this high and this low. So these become minor structures to this whole major structure. So this is a major structure, higher high, higher low, and higher high, depending on the range. And this is a visibly bigger range, right? But then when you're using this higher high and higher low, they are small ranges. They are that makes them minor structure. Now another name for minor structure is internal structures, and another name for major structure is external structure, right? So depending on the range you are going to pick, that is going to show which one is your major structure and which one is your minor structure. So major structure has to have a larger range. So let's use the downtrend, lower low, lower high, lower low, lower high, right? So this is our major structure, lower highs and lower lows. But within that we can find we have higher high, higher low, higher higher low, lower low, lower high, lower low, lower high, lower low, right? So these are lower low, lower high, lower low, lower high. So this lower low and lower high are internal structures to this whole lower low, lower high, and lower low move, right? So they are all on this line. This lower low, lower high, lower low, lower high are all internal structures to this high and this low, right? In other words, they are all minor structures to this high and this low. So the rule is that you have to pick a bigger range, and after picking that bigger range as your major structure, whatever higher high or higher low or lower low or lower high that falls within that range is going to be your minor structure. Let's pick some examples, right? So with this is a 24-hour chart, right? We have this, right? Higher high, higher low, higher high, higher low. So this will be my major structure. The range is bigger. Now compared to this, higher high, higher low, higher high, higher low. This higher high and then this higher low totally engulfs this higher high and higher low. So this higher high and higher low ends up becoming a minor structure to this whole major structure. Does it make sense? This whole higher high, higher low structure becomes a minor structure to this whole major structure. So it become internal structures to this major structure. So it deals with ranges. No one is going to tell you which range to pick, but then you have to choose a visibly bigger range, because when you are looking at this range, and then when you look at this range and you look at this range, this is major and this is minor, but this is bigger than this. So this should be the major structure and this should be a minor structure. Now once you pick your major structure range, whatever higher high and higher low, let's say you are picking a major structure range in an uptrend market, whatever higher and higher low that falls within that before the last low or the last high of that major structure will be your minor structure or internal structures, right? Same for a downtrend market. Once you pick your major structure, lower high and a lower low, whatever lower lows and lower highs that falls within that range will be your minor structure or internal structure with lower highs and lower lows, right? So that is the concept. Very, 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 very simple. You can be practicing on the chart. Let's take one more example. So we have this. Let me choose a chart that has a better price action, right? So let's look at this. Let's try to pick, right? So higher high, higher low, higher high. We are currently forming what? A higher what? Low, right? So right now, this reading that we can see, we also have what? Lower low, lower high, lower low, lower high, lower low, right? You can see this is what? A lower low, lower high, lower low. So this lower low, lower high, right? Lower low is an internal structure to this whole higher high, higher low, higher high move, higher high move, right? So they are either internal structures or minor structures. So it deals with the range, because looking at this, when you look at this range, right, this lower low, lower high range is smaller compared to higher high, higher low, higher high, right? So it deals with ranges. The more you pick a bigger range, then even so, that means if you pick a bigger range than the previous one, the first one that was once what your major structure can be what a minor structure, because you pick what a much bigger range. Let me explain what I'm trying to say. So let's say you pick this as your low, this is your last low, and this is your last what high, and then you pick this as what, so higher high, higher low, and currently you are going to form a high, right? Now whatever higher high, higher low, higher higher low will be all be what minor structures to this whole what low and high, right? Depending on the range you want to use as your major structure, but make sure your major structure is always visibly bigger than your minor structure, and then whatever that falls within that range will be what will be your minor structure. So when you are picking a high or a low in an uptrend market, make sure that high and low is what visibly what bigger, has a bigger range than what the minor structure. And then after picking your high and low on what on a bigger scale, whatever high or lower low that falls within that range will be what your minor structure. So with this higher high, higher low, higher high, higher low, higher high, higher low are all what's internal structures to this whole low and this high, right? So that's the concept of major structure and minor structure. Very, very understandable. Don't get confused with this. If you don't understand, just watch the video over and over again. You're going to get a concept. Once you understand this concept, it is going to make things very simple for you, and then you need to understand them before you watch the other additional videos that will continue, because we'll be expanding more on these major structure, minor structure. Because if you understand which is your major structure and minor structure, that is when you'll be able to identify major structural shifts, minor structural shifts, major change of character, minor change of character, and all those kind of stuff. So yes, with major structure and minor structure, it deals with a range. You, the trader, have to pick the range, but make sure the range you are picking is visibly what bigger. Then whatever structure that falls within that range will be what your minor structure. So don't forget to like and then subscribe to what our videos, because it helps the algorithm push our videos what right to a wide range of what audience. So see you in the next video.